Hello, and welcome to the non-Greg Sterlace Show, except only the substitutes. I'm your host.
The regulars.
The irregulars. The Pamazon. Oh, here. Wait, there's John. What's happening?
Space.
What? Yes, I am very regular. I eat lots of bran flakes.
You
and
do take the fibers every day.
I
It's true.
take so much fiber because, I mean, honestly, it's like I used to just have so much fiber and then eat nothing but like, what do you want to call it? Like shredded wheat and like just like prune juice. Because, like, I just wanted it to, like, because this way, if you have to get out of a situation, you always have to go.
I've definitely jokingly called you an honorary old man, but this statement is just reinforcing that.
I mean, it's true.
Very true.
I know. I was like, hey, people who come over, that's not my big thing of fiber. I'm okay.
We have a lot of fiber, too. We have a lot of psyllium husks, but it's because it's useful in gluten-free baking.
Oh,
because
all right.
it gets goopy, and it can help as like an agent to help the bread rise without.
I did not
You
know
think
that.
my fiber is embarrassing? What's wrong with fiber?
I too am very regular.
However,
my
the great
consistency is not.
Yeah, she used to say, "Oh, can you get me my cocktail?" And then you'd mix her up her Metamucil.
Hey, you know what? I actually kind of like Metamucil if you let it sit and turn into goop. It's kind of like
really?
a weird pudding.
It is good.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
really?
yeah.
It's pudding-like?
It tastes like tang, and it's kind of like a
Orange
jelly
pudding,
pudding. Yeah, when it gets all swollen up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't need to eat, and I don't have any, but like.
I was teaching at Jamestown Community College, and I bought this cereal, and it said high fiber, but it was so good I ate the whole box.
Mm-hmm.
That was I didn't do much teaching that day.
The worst is like a day that you've been spending with your friends and doing stuff, and you just totally forget to go. And then the next day you have something really high fiber, and it's like a plug, and they're like,
Yeah, that's a bad feeling. That's a bad feeling.
You guys are crazy. I
like the poo consistency gradient is not a delightful experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
There's a really great podcast all about taking a dump called The Brown Hour. I highly recommend it.
Why is this a real thing?
It's really good. I like
Come
it.
fly away.
It's done by a friend of mine, and it's very entertaining.
Ah, okay.
Well, the guy
Look
who
at all
paints
those tiny
toilets
little
does
squares.
That makes sense. And I was in a band called Anal Pudding, so it's all full circle.
I just
Sort
have a
of.
sister who's obsessed with scat jokes and stuff.
Oh,
I don't know if
okay.
I've said it on the show before,
No.
but one time she was, this was when she was a teenager. We're all my parents and I were all in the kitchen or the living room, I can't remember. And I think we were actually eating ice cream, or maybe we were out for ice cream. I don't remember the exact
ice cream
scenario,
involved.
but I know there was ice cream around. And she goes, have you ever wanted there to be poop flavored ice cream? And we all kind of look at her. She's like, what? I don't want to eat poop. I just want to know what it tastes like.
Oh.
And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
I would also imagine the taste would vary from person to person.
Yeah, and
And
what
also
they
what
ate.
you're eating.
Yes, what you're eating, yes.
I mean,
if you ate lots of corn that day, it would have a certain flavor.
And if you ate goulash, it might smell exactly like goulash, but it's not going to taste like it.
No.
This is like when you walk into a room and you don't know somebody's making goulash, and you're like, who ripped one? Oh, you're making goulash.
Yes, I remember just getting steamed broccoli from the Chinese restaurant that was in the plaza where I caught the Greyhound bus, and I just got steamed broccoli. And I had it in my little container. I was buying my tickets, and this dude's like, who ripped a fart in here? I'm like, it's my broccoli.
I love the smell of cooking broccoli. It's so good.
It does smell like a fart, though.
Yeah, it's like there's foods that you smell them as you're cooking them and eating them, and you're like, but if somebody walked in, they'd be like, wah! Oh!
Well, if you got in your head that scent was coming from a human, you'd be like, like
Are you
cumin.
dying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cumin is one of those that tastes so delightful, but if you know.
There's a great song I have on Slade and the Big Green Schwinn about an adventure Slade and I had where we found this toilet on the beach. and inside this toilet, it was just a mountain of excrement.
Oh, no.
And it was like, I don't know how it kept piling up, but me and Slade wrote this song. Really good. It starts off about the mountain of turds, and then Slade's, I just want to roll in the hay and brush your hair. So it turned into Slade, like, adoring me. But
Because
Weird.
he adores you.
yes.
Yeah. Well, I've never had an event. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It's just a very entertaining song. I highly recommend Slade and the Big Green Twin, volumes 1 and 2. Hopefully volume 3 coming.
Did you identify with the anal pudding songs then? Like tripping on my turds and stuff like that.
I actually find shit very disgusting. I don't find it as disgusting as farts, though. I think farts are way grosser than just taking a dump. Because at least when you're dealing with a dump, you know what it is. But if you're farting, it could be anywhere. It's like mysterious air.
Well, a component of smell is particulate.
Yes,
But-
exactly.
It's like little turds are flying in your nose. That's way grosser to me.
But to be fair, most of the smell that comes from your farts is not your own poo. It's the poo of the bacteria eating the things in your intestines.
I don't want secondhand turds. That's even weirder.
It's not poo, but the waste products.
I think,
Yes?
what are you going to say, Dudley?
Secondhand turds.
Yeah.
It's that Fleetwood Mac song.
They wrote a lot of great ones.
I can never listen to the song Tusk again after watching the movie Tusk.
That's a very disturbed movie.
I liked the song too, fortunately.
I love the song. It's a great song.
Did we show you the scene from Tusk where
I don't even know what this movie is.
You know,
it's
I
the
know a
guy
little bit
who
of it.
played the Mac in the Mac commercials, Justin Long?
Yes.
He plays a douchey podcaster.
Oh.
And he goes to get the he's looking for. Well, he goes to Canada because there's this guy who it's like Star Wars kid, but he accidentally chops off his leg.
Oh.
But the kid is gone by the time he's there, and so he's hanging out in a bar, and there's a sign that says anybody interested in mysterious stories. So he goes to this creepy old guy's house, and the guy slowly over the course of the movie turns him into a Frankensteinian walrus man.
Oh.
It's very disturbing.
And then makes him fight him at the end to Fleetwood Mac's Tusk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as we did
And then
watch,
he ends up at the zoo.
John here likes to sing the Tiny Tims, and I cannot hear Tiptoe Through Tulips without thinking of the movie Insidious.
Oh, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
I can't hear Tiptoe Through Tulips without thinking of just horror movies in general, because I think it's been used several times.
Has it? That's the only time I've seen it.
Yeah, Tiny Tim's not scary. He's just a lunatic.
And lunatics are not scary.
Not Tiny Tim. He's just like, oh, please, oh, thank you. Let me sing a wonderful song.
Do I have a red face?
I mean, he's scary when he plays the killer clown in that movie, Blood Harvest. But
Oh.
I didn't know he played.
he
I
does.
didn't know that.
There's a great 80s horror movie starring Tiny Tim called Blood Harvest where he plays a killer clown. And he goes, oh, gosh, I didn't mean to do it, Miss Chan. Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
That doesn't sound scary. I don't know.
Because he's not scary. He's just stupid.
Okay. All right.
I mean, the man wears diapers for no reason.
Well, because he was afraid of catching AIDS
Yeah,
from
he's
wearing
afraid
underwear.
of catching AIDS.
From wearing under, because
Yeah.
he was a nutball.
Yeah, he's insane. He showered 8 times a day.
His skin must have been so dry.
That's why he wore insane amounts of makeup. He's got an answer for that. That's why I put on night repair every 3 hours.
Wow. Wow. That would seem like not a solution. I don't know.
Feels like somebody who should have been had a mental health arrest at some point.
He's very crazy. There's a very great story where he's driving a go-kart and, well, whatever. It's a stupid story. Never mind.
You started it. Is it something you can't say on TV though?
No, it's just
Oh,
stupid.
okay.
He's like, no, because they're like, Tiny, where's that? Did you do that? He's like, yeah, but he's like, well, they said you had 2 beers. He's like, no, I had 4 beers, but it wasn't my fault. I didn't know I was gonna be in this go-kart, and I don't know, it was very stupid and strange. And I just like how he corrects him. He's like, no, I had 4 beers, and they were great beers.
Well, being great beers, that's what really matters. You
And
know?
then and Miss Sue is on. She's like, Tiny, did you tell him about the time that I cured your what is it? What do you call it when you can't get a boner?
erectile dysfunction.
He's like, yes. He's like,
Ah, jinx, you owe me a Coke. Or something that's not Coke.
Impotence. That was the word I was looking for. She goes, Tiny, remember the time I cured your impotence? He's like, oh gosh, I sure do. You were putting your mouth all over my diaper, and I couldn't take you away. And he's like, so she was basically just like assaulting you. He's like, I guess, but I didn't know what to do. So she's just mauling me, and she cured my impotence just like that. And he's like, well, don't you ever pay her back? She's like, she won't let me. She just keeps going. And I'm like, God, Tiny, you're so crazy.
He's definitely a very interesting. Is there any there's no biography movies or anything on him?
I feel like it would if there had been a Tiny Tim biography, it would have been like the sequel to like the movie Ed Wood. It'd be like it'd be a series of movies
Why can't I don't see why. If I had the funds, I would still make it. I know everything about Tiny Tim's entire history.
I mean,
I look enough like him.
The funds, or can you just put it together?
Yeah, really.
I don't see why I really couldn't do it with like a super cheap budget. I mean,
Yeah, like people do YouTube shows with like decent visual effects and stuff, run off their laptops with like a big enough external hard drive.
I don't think I need.
I've got 2 words for you.
Yes.
Captain Isotope.
That's what I mean. We can do it. If Captain Isotope exists, Tiny Tim the movie starring us
It could exist.
can exist.
I'll operate
I'd
a
be willing to
camera.
say
I
it.
will not be in front of one.
Yeah, like, are you saying we should act out the parts of people in Tiny Tim's life, or?
Well, yeah, as long as you
So
want
are you just gonna make
I thought you were
Pam
gonna
put her
interview
hair
people.
in one of those like things and then like put on wigs to play all Tiny Tim's different
I mean,
like
there's
crazy
lots of great
girlfriends?
characters besides Tiny Tim. You got Tiny Tim. You got, of course, oh gosh, you got Miss Jan, Miss Sue, Miss Vicky, Miss Popcorn. You got Miss Cleo. You got oh gosh, I saw a biography play about Tiny Tim that I was involved in the production of that premiered in Lancaster, and that was one of my favorite shows. I got to play at Lancaster Opera House.
Oh my gosh, John,
Yes.
you're a Timolo.
Oh God. I wonder if Tiny Tim liked ICP.
Probably not.
That's very funny when you see him rap. Tiny Tim has very terrible raps.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Tiny Tim.
That doesn't seem like it would work.
He's got the pizza polka rap, and then there's the one about Miss Sue. He's like, oh, how I love your body. How you love to strung my something like I'm just a ukulele, and you just call me Grandpappy. It's so bad.
He had kids, right?
He has Miss Tulip, and then he had a son that died.
Oh, okay.
Named Crest, after Crest Toothpaste.
Miss Tulip is not a name for a child. It's
No.
the name for a teacup chihuahua that hates everyone.
Why am I alive? Why am I so tiny?
Yeah, Tulip lives somewhere, but Crest died.
Oh, that's sad.
It is sad.
See, I could see Crest as being a normal name, but I get the impression that he named the kid after the
He
toothpaste.
did. He named it after the toothpaste. He fully admitted it.
Wow.
Tiny Tim had an obsession with products.
Interesting.
There's a great video on YouTube where people just follow him around when he was living in like Indiana for a while, and it's called A Day in the Life of Tiny Tim. It's just following him through like crappy department stores, and like it's like, oh, look at this shirt. Oh, you know when I bought this brand in 1957. It just goes on for about nothing forever. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to rant so long about Tiny Tim.
This is so good.
No,
Pam,
sight.
I really like your cowl scarf thing. It looks like hot pink knit intestines.
The best kind of intestines. Well, except for the ones in your body that are functioning.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I forget where I think I got this at the thrift store.
Or maybe like,
I don't know.
it could kind of look like.
It wasn't from Kmart, and the Kmart in West Seneca went out of business. So sad.
I thought I heard Dudley say Kmart, but I mean, I thought I heard gay bar.
Kmart. I did not. It did not come from a gay bar. I didn't steal some poor person's scarf from a gay bar.
Well, I mean, good for you, because I wouldn't know what was on it.
That would be mean.
At any club.
Yeah, I had something like that happen
Stealing
once
from
when
the
I picked up
clubs.
my hat from the Continental and there was spermatozoa on it. I was like, oh my God. And then my roommate's like, is that really? And she touched it. I was like, what? Wash your hands. I know. Burn
Ugh. Garbage. That's so disgusting. Ew.
No. Sorry, John got really upset.
Sorry, it's so gross.
It's all right, John. It's okay. It was disturbing. It was very disturbing. Yeah.
Coughed myself to death almost. Laughed myself to death.
Ew.
Yeah, it was not good. But yeah, that totally derailed everything. Yes. I don't remember where I got this. I got it. I've had it a while. It's got little flecks of orange in it, which is pretty delightful. You probably can't see them from the TV screens. That's okay. Yes, the Kmart in West Seneca and the Kmart in Batavia both went out of business. I love the Big K.
Do you want to have a funeral for it? A wake?
Kmart's still on its last legs. There's still a Mart.
There's still one in Buffalo, in the city of Buffalo. There's still
okay.
a Kmart. So.
Okay, so it's sort of like a sadder version of the last Blockbuster.
Yes. Well,
I've been to a Blockbuster last year when I was in Oregon. There was one in I forget what it was. What's the name of that little town? But I've been to one.
I think that's the one that's the last one.
Oh, really?
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not owned by the...
Oh, it's just got the name.
Yeah, they bought that. It used to be a local video store, and then they bought it, and then Blockbuster bought it out, and then Blockbuster went under, and they bought it back.
We got all sorts of shoes when the Big K went out of
I got
business.
some
Yes,
Mart
I got a
shoes
pair of those.
myself.
I got a pair of those in black. John got them in brown. And then I got some other fun shoes. I got some banana yellow. Wait, what brand were those?
Oh, those were the
Not Reeboks. Pumas for $9.
Puma.
Yeah, they're banana yellow sneakers, so that's pretty delightful.
As you can see, the puma stalks its prey.
I hate words that sound like pubes but aren't. Like pubert, puma.
Wait, pubert? What word is that?
That's a name.
That's a name? Pubert's a name?
I've known people named Pubert. It's disturbing.
Pubert?
Yeah.
Who names their kid Pubert?
Insane people. It's disturbing.
Pubert. Cumberthatch.
It's like the bad version of the game Cubert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me how
And
you win
I thought
Cubert.
Cubert was the bad version of the game Cubert.
Yeah, right. How do you win Pubert?
You avoid all the falling hairs.
Yeah.
That was originally
Those springs in Cubert, they're replaced with
Oh,
hairs.
that's okay.
the name of the little boy character from Addams Family, but they changed it to Pugsley for TV because constantly Pubert on TV.
Especially during that time frame, I
Yeah.
suppose. Now you probably could.
I don't think I'd want to.
What is happening there, Dudley?
Whoa!
You are like
Dudley's
space
having
time.
a bowel movement.
Yeah, something's going on.
A space-time quake.
Yeah.
Well, I keep expecting a TARDIS
Seriously,
to
where
burst
are
out
you
of there,
going,
but-
Dudley?
Somebody...
Oh, I was on a trip.
Oh, he was on a trip. Okay.
A delightful trip.
Oh, there you go again.
Yeah.
How thin are the walls between different realities? Anyways.
Yes, tell us.
There are not walls, only doors of perception.
Ah,
Great comic about traveling between different realities is Rassel. I highly recommend it. It's all about this guy who invented a machine where he can travel between different realities to steal famous art
Comic
pieces.
or graphic novel?
Well, I mean, it was originally published in comic book form.
Okay, yeah. So I always just meant it's not like comic strip comic.
No, it's not
Okay.
a comic strip. And then he goes into different dimensions to steal art pieces to sell because there's if you can find the different famous art pieces and all the little slight different realities. But he's like an ex-scientist who is like
Rassel?
Yeah, it's highly recommended.
Rassle?
Yeah.
Rasl.
Oh.
It's also
okay.
has a lot to do with like Tesla and stuff. It's very intriguing.
That reminds me. There's a really great short story on. I can't remember if it's Starship Sofa or if it's Tales to Terrify, but they're in the same network of podcasts, and both of those things can be found at the .coms that have that.
I was
without
listening to the
spaces.
podcast Clark's World.
Uh-huh.
Man, a lot of depressing sci-fi stories.
Yeah, you fell asleep.
Oh,
I fell asleep before I could
You should
do that.
listen to a Starship Sofa.
Depressing.
You should listen to Starship Sofa.
Why was it so-
It's really good. Some of them are depressing, but most of them aren't.
These
and
were all depressing. They were all about post-apocalyptic misery. Every single one. The woman reading them was very good, but I was just like...
the only problem I have with Starship Sofa is the host is Well, first he's Scottish. I don't have any problem with anybody Scottish, but he has the really thick accent, but he also, which is fine, but he also is not, he doesn't enunciate clearly, he doesn't speak clearly. Oh. And over the years that he's been the host, he's got more and more kind of discombobulated or rambly. So he's like, and he cackles at everything. So he's like, and you're like, are you speaking a language at all?
Or all
of them? I mean, he's Scottish is fine, but like Scottish is hard, like really heavy Scottish accent's hard to hear for me. Some of the accents are kind of hard.
It's a heavier one.
A heavier one.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then on top of that, he doesn't speak clearly and rambles really bad. But the sci-fi is really good, and also the host is really delightful when you can understand what he's saying. But he's a great guy. The short story is kind of like what John was talking about. I can't remember who it's by, but it's in one of them, and it's about this device. I can't remember. It's like the. It's basically it's like a thing that looks like a washing machine. You stick a sample in it, and it takes like a plate or whatever, and it takes that sample, and then it finds its equivalent in alternate universes, and you can reach in and just grab it or take it.
Oh.
Yeah, and this woman is like, it's a really sad one. I remember we were coming home from somewhere. We were coming up through South Buffalo while it was going on, and it's like the woman's son had died, and she like uses a bit of his hair to pull out another version of him.
Oh, that's
and all
like
this other
Fringe.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me.
And it gets really weird at the end. Yeah.
That's cool.
I couldn't hear it when you fell asleep, but one of the sci-fi things you had on the other day was about Buffalo, but I couldn't hear everything they were saying. But the sci-fi was set in Buffalo.
If it was if it wasn't last night.
No, it wasn't last night.
So it was sci-fi old time radio then.
Yeah.
No, I probably fell asleep.
I take offense to a particular episode of Supernatural, the one where they, it's a good episode otherwise. It's the one Dean kills Hitler in, and he's all excited about it, which is fantastic and wonderful, and the timing is perfect too, because it's clearly picking on certain things.
Yes.
But yeah, but there's a part in it where where the son of one of the Thule guys is like, I don't even know. I don't want to be part of this. I was like raised in Buffalo, and they go, "Well, go back to Buffalo. No one goes to Buffalo."
I wish.
Hey!
I wish. Stay out. That's right. Buffalo's terrible. Everybody, stay out. Let us have our fun. All you let us have our fun. Fun.
It's not
There's
fun.
No fun here.
It's not fun at all. Don't come here. There's no fun.
There's no fun.
There's no fun to be had.
No fun.
In
fact, I went to a show. No, it's not fun. Don't tell people it's not fun. It's not fun.
John,
the food.
It's called reverse psychology.
The food is bad.
The
It's
food
so
is
bad.
terrible, and
Terrible
there aren't
food.
a bajillion
and it's
restaurants.
Expensive.
What are you
It's
guys
expensive.
talking about?
And it's no fun.
I like all of those things.
You're a really bad liar.
Can I just recommend one more thing? Trust me when I say go to this website. Go to ilovebabyjesus.com. You're going to be surprised.
Okay.
Do it in a private browser if it's against whatever faith you have or non-faith to type that URL in.
Also, I tried just going to jesus.net and nothing comes up. But ilovebabyjesus.com really do a very fun website.
Did you know that for a long time in the 90s and early 2000s, there was
Dudley discovered it.
there was a porn-oriented version or like knockoff of Google called Booble?
No.
Yeah, and I use DuckDuckGo now because Google's creepy.
Yeah, very creepy.
But I just realized that the DuckDuckGo equivalent knockoff would be DickDickGo.
Yes, it would.
There's
That
some
would be a
great
good
porn parodies. Like there's Strokemon. Rugrats is another great one.
Ew, no!
Beaver and Buttface is another good one. I've seen so many hilarious porn parodies.
My ex-girlfriend had
love
the
to watch
Pirates of the
reviews.
Caribbean one that was like a knockoff just called Pirates, and it was like super high budget, but it was like, we watched it once, it was really bad. Anyways. They're having sex in a burning building while it's burning down around them.
Yeah, I watched Flesh Gordon, and everybody was getting hit by sex rays. Ever since the plane gets hit by a sex ray, and the pilots start having sex, and the plane crashes, so everybody was getting killed by the sex ray.
Did you know during the 60s there was a porno knockoff of Doctor Who?
No.
And the Daleks.
Doctor, what was it called? Doctor Blue.
I don't know, but I feel like I never heard the Daleks in it talk, but I've seen clips of it. But I assume that it wouldn't be exterminate, but inseminate.
Oh yes.
But
probably,
like
yes.
but like they put their like the suction, the plunger suction cups on the lady's boobs, and she's like. It's really ridiculous. Anyways, changing subjects.
Yes, right. It sounds very, very bad. Yes. Let's see.
Highly recommend Brad Jones. He reviews shitty parody of porn. They're very funny. I love watching those reviews.
Yeah, I recommend Passion of the Nerd if you're a Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel fan.
Good.
Yeah, so good. So good. It's made me cry. I know. I don't cry a lot either. I'm not a big old wimp.
So you said I'm a wimp?
No, I'm not saying you're a wimp.
No, Pam's just emotionally repressed and sucked into herself sometimes. I'm kidding.
Sometimes. What's that big lump on your back?
I don't know. Are you serious?
Sorry. No, I'm not.
Oh.
Don't fixate on it.
Don't fixate. Don't fixate.
I don't know.
You know, the attachment for the muscles on the back of my head is like really pointy, and it used to be when I was younger, and then when I was a teenager, and I thought there was something wrong with me. I'm like, oh my god, am I dying? There's a bump in my head, and when I put my head on chair rests, it hurts.
I could also say that the delightful Buffalo Infringement Festival, we need a coordinator for theater and one for poetry and written word stuff. Poetry and written word stuff and theater. See, these hand motions will hypnotize you into agreeing to do it.
I will talk to my network of queers about that.
Yes, if any of them want to do it, that would be delightful. How was your beverage?
Yes?
It's cable access. You can't
I'm
advertise
not
weird
advertising.
sodas.
I'm just saying how amazing Vimto is. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I'm
It's a
reviewing
review.
its delicious flavor, full-fledged and fruity. Yes.
I don't know what it tastes like. I can't tell what it is. I can't tell if it's vanilla cherry or tamarind or what.
It does have a lot of different flavors in it, yes. It has all the flavors. All the flavors.
Ooh. Do not go down on the soda can while we're on TV.
Yeah, we just got off the porn subject.
Yeah. By the way, I know you're a fan of Legend of Zelda. Just think about it in your own head. If you're like thinking of like parody porn names, almost every game in that series has a really easy parody porn name.
A link to the ass.
Yeah, exactly. Or like certain of them don't even have to be changed, like Four Swords Adventure or Skyward Sword. Just leave them as they are.
I must say, Four Swords
Link's
Adventure is
Awakening, that's clearly a gay porn.
my favorite
No.
2D Zelda game. I love Four Swords Adventures. It's so fun.
Yeah, we should play it sometime.
We should. I like. But yes, Link's Awakening was a gay porn.
Or Link's Awakening.
Oh, that's a good one.
Anyways.
I didn't realize Link was not a lady until I was like 15. Because Link is voiced by a lady, and I don't know. I somehow was like, wait, hold on a tick, that's a man, and it was.
When they first sent Metroid over to the U.S., they didn't really tell them anything about it, and the advertisers here were like doing it like, be this cool guy, and there's like the suit and everything, like holding a bunch of ladies, so they sort of accidentally lesbianed Samus. Yeah.
Accidental lesbianism.
Yeah. Which I think is like great. As somebody who is only theoretically pansexual.
Where is Dudley going now?
What dimension are we in, Dudley?
Yeah.
I think Dudley just ate Chipotle.
Yes,
Do you like Chipotle, Dudley?
of course.
I personally,
Like the light
Dudley,
below.
find
Grandpappy.
Chipotle disappointing. It's like It's like,
whoa, what's that?
Oh, what's going
What
on?
just happened? Oh, there we go.
It's like a
Dudley, where was that?
Where
you
was
just
that?
went?
What did we just
That's
see?
the magic land of Salak.
Of Solak.
Do not go there ever.
Okay, I will not go there.
There's like one person who's like, oh my god, that was Video Toaster.
Yeah. Oh no! Do not look at that man behind the curtain.
Don't look at the Amiga behind the curtain.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.